All right, guys, I want to show this really powerful new passing system using the knee cut and the knee shield I've been using recently. It's actually really unorthodox and counter what a lot of people taught, myself included, but it's working really well, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So one of the main things when I'm passing the guard, whatever pass I'm doing, is I have to block one of his feet from getting in between my chest and his chest. So if I was to do a Toreando, for example, and this foot was able to find a way to connect in, he's going to be able to put it here and then retain his guard and come back. A lot of times, if the guy's extremely flexible, that's probably one of the hardest parts about passing. Even if I'm controlling the pant leg, they can lasso over the grip. Often when you go for a knee cut pass, you'll grab the lapel like this to try to pass, and then they lasso the foot over like this. So the concept we're focusing on here is actually very counterintuitive, and we're forcing a knee shield. So normally you think of the knee shield as a problem when you're passing, especially if you're knee cut passing, because your opponent can press you away with their shin and make it hard to pass. But there's one huge benefit with the knee shield. The big benefit is that it locks this foot out of position. So for example, if I was to grab the lapel here, his heel can come over and lasso. But if I have a lapel here and he has the knee shield, for him to ever lasso here, he would actually have to kick his leg all the way through, which allows me to get ahead of his leg. And if you look here, once my body is in front of the leg, it doesn't matter how flexible he is. My body is in front of the leg. He can't lasso, and I can find a way to finish the knee cut pass. So the thing is, when I'm here like this, he's actually kind of stuck, and we can kind of build our offense from here. So I'm going to go through the two types of knee shield first. There's one I call the strong knee shield and the weak knee shield. And we're gonna build a system off of this that not only sets up knee cut passes, but a lot of other options. So first, let's talk about a weak knee shield. The big thing to understand with the knee shield is it's strong when he's on the side of his shoulder, right? So if I'm here and he has the shield, he can really press me away like this because this shoulder is up and he can really extend his body, right? But the thing is, if both of his shoulder blades are flat, let's suppose I'm still in a knee shield here. Now when he tries to knee shield me away, it's very hard because he's centered and his hips can't really extend as well because his hips are attached to the shoulders. So as you rotate him flat, it's gonna be a weak shield. So from here, he actually can't lasso, and I can kind of lock him in and slowly grind my way through to get ahead of the leg and finish the pass. If I enter and he's already on the side, it's a little bit harder, and we're gonna deal with that last. So first, let's talk about how to set up the weak knee shield and use it to do a knee cut pass. So often when I approach the guard, my opponent is either flat on the back or they're gonna be on their side. In the case that he's on his side, I'm just gonna try to move him back towards this flat a little bit. If he's already flat, perfect. So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on controlling the ankles or the feet just because they're reliable, they're always there, they're not dependent on the pants. And I'm gonna look for an angle like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my shin here to bat his hip to the side like this. But at the same time, I'm gonna be coming high to go for this lapel, and I kind of wanna funnel this knee shield into me, right? So it'll look more like this. You see, so now I forced this shield and I got the shoulder here like this. This right hand on the shoulder here allows me to help keep his shoulder flattened like this. If he's turned in a little bit or he's kind of coming, I could even use the lapel or the bicep. I just want to keep this flat. My left hand here, often I'll be catching a tricep or a shoulder. It could be a sleeve. I just want something to help flatten him out like this. When I land in this position, there is no reverse Deheag because I cut in such a different way. I'm not like dropping my shin in here where he can get this hook. I'm here like this and I lift my foot and drop my shin. So when I go, I'm in deep like this. And again, I already caught this shield, so now I can't lasso. I can flatten him out here. And to finish the pass, what I do is I just keep my weight on this, and when I'm ready, I can slowly grind up like this and kind of get my armpit ahead and drop down. In fact, this is so strong, sometimes what I can do is he can even keep the shield as I come through like this. And see, he still has the knee shield, but my hips are all the way through. So I can deal with getting rid of this later, or I can even come up to knee on belly really quick like this, flatten that out, and come in and consolidate the pass. So again, looking at the entrance, we can do the fast version. Another one I like to use sometimes is if I go down here, I can drop level and grab the lapel here like this. Again, you can see on this side, I've kind of boxed that foot out, right? So as I go here like this, he can no longer get that foot in, no matter how flexible he is. And from here, I can kind of cut in, and you see I'm keeping this box in. This one's slightly different. Before it was more shielded. This one's on the bicep more, but same concept. I can kind of use this principle in a lot of intuitive ways. So from here, again, I catch the tricep, the shoulder, whatever, and try to flatten him up like this. And you see now here, he tries to press me away with his knee. He can't really. And if he overextends the leg trying to lasso, he gives me the pass to come through and finish. All right, so now we're gonna look at when your opponent has the strong shield and how to use this. So first off, when we're passing against the strong shield, I can't always finish the knee cut pass, but this is still incredibly important because I can funnel him into a position that he can't get out of, and I can build attack systems off that. So now he's already on his shoulder. Sometimes you can drop in still and flatten him out, but let's just say he's a little too far turned and that's difficult. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be here, and again, I just kind of push this foot out of the way and I close this gap quick. Again, you can kind of see how when I come in, my hip and my arm kind of block this leg out, so that lasso is out of play. But now the problem here is this shoulder is up a little more, so I can't necessarily flatten him out. So here a lot of times I'm gonna do this kind of lower mid lapel grip. You can do different grips, it depends on how they are. So from here I have this locked in, and now the important thing is this arm. So with this arm, I wanna focus on controlling this leg. I'll control the pants or I'll control the ankle. If he has really short pants, which unfortunately happens a lot, then when I grab here, he might be able to break my grip. And if he grabs my sleeve to break the grip here, now his foot will come out to my hip and I can no longer knee cut pass, and he's kind of free to attack open guard. So if the pants are long enough, I can extend it down like this. Otherwise, I can just do the ankle like this, right? So now I'm gonna hold the lapel here like this, and I kind of stay in this side position. I'm not driving in too hard. I kind of perch up like this. So from here, he's kind of turned into me. He's looking for the collar or something like this. And maybe see, try to grip this grip to make the grip. Yeah. See, I turn at such a side angle, it's very hard for him to make this grip, right? So from here, I can kind of perch and decide what to do. Again, if he overextends this leg at any time, I can come through and go for the knee cut pass here and slide through. Sometimes I can be here, I can even get my elbow ahead, or I can use my knee to open a little like this and push it out of the way, and again, slide through and finish. Notice my body position, I'm not driving all the way in, I'm kind of in this like perch position like this, where I kind of float in that spot, and I can kind of make decisions on where to go from there. Again, when I'm here like this, right, I have this guy here. If he tries to like wrestle up, come up. See, I can kind of stiff arm him down. I have this to elevate. If he tries to grab this sleeve to break the grip, I stay at this really big side angle, and now I can go from here. I can stall here for quite a while, but another great attack option here, if he stays extremely shielded and I can't open, is I'll take my time and I slowly start to drop my body weight on this. If I feel like he allows me to get my whole body weight on it, I can sit my whole hip on it, and now quickly I shift up over here. Once my body weight is sitting on his thigh, he can't reopen it. Start opening it. See, and now I can slide through really quick there to consolidate the knee cut pass. So another really powerful combination with this is the shin slide. So I can either do this by initially setting up my shin on their shin. I'll do this a lot if they're knee shielded. Otherwise, what I'll do is as I enter, he's gonna be in the shield with his knees kind of tight like this, and we kind of enter in here. So now maybe he's going from the cross collar or something like this. And what I do is I'm gonna get kind of a lower lapel and I drop my elbow on top of his thigh. This allows me to pin his thigh over, and I can kind of switch my knee up to shin slide over here. From here in this position, I have a lot of different options. I can keep my forearm on the thigh, and I can kind of come down here, and I can start doing the pass we did before and slide over to finish there. But also, I have the option to thread my knee through like this. So I can shoot my knee through like this, and you see I get my knee on the floor, and I keep my chest on top of the thigh. From here, I can try to elevate the elbow. I can go above the knee with my left knee, and now I can progress up to the mount. This is a really powerful folding pass here. Another cool option with this is as I do this shin slide, you can also turn it into a back step and do a long step to the other side. I can also turn it into just like an HQ on the opposite side. I can use this to come in to set up knee cuts on the other side. Notice when I set up the knee cut with this lapel and this pant, again, I'm actually pulling him into the shield a little bit, right? It seems counterintuitive, but when you can lock that shield in, he can't lasso. And now from here, I can take this and start pressing through. Again, he'll probably have his head up and be a bit more active like this. Yeah, exactly, right? So I'm like this, and I can slowly start pushing this guy through and try to finish the pass. So let's talk about mixing this in with an overall passing strategy. So again, when I approach the guard, there's no one pass I'm looking for. I'm not trying to force the knee cut. I'm not trying to force the Toreando. I'm taking what they're giving me. So a lot of times if I approach and my opponent is flat back, I can kind of look here and try to find a way to go in for a Toreando pass. If his feet are high, maybe I can try to stack. But if it's really difficult, or he's got these pants that are just all the way up to the knee, or they side tilt a lot of times what I do is I just control the ankle and I look to cover that gap quick, like this, see? Here, if he gives it to me, I snag and I start going in for the cut directly. But even if he starts to get on his side here to go to the shield, you see I'm already here pressing, right? And I'm kind of taking my time. There, he already gave me the pass. If he stays shielded here, I can lower this back out. start shin sliding, he drops there, I come in, pass. A couple other really cool ways you can use this is like even in De Hiva guard, often you trap the leg and your opponent turns their hip this way a little bit, and I want to lift my foot to rotate him to this side. But sometimes even when you hit this cut, at the last second they press your shoulder and they lasso the outside foot over like this. They'll usually let go and push with that hand, but same idea. They loop that foot over, right? So again, when I'm here, hold the pant, what I do is I lift that foot and I'm actually trying to pull him towards that shield so I can hit more like this kind of an angle, which again seems very counterintuitive, but if I catch the back here and I lock in, now he's stuck. If you turn back to your left side, he can't turn back to the left. I already have the underhook. And at first it may take a second, but I can kind of dig through. And now when he kicks through to lasso, he gives me the pass all the way. You can lock this in. This is also really powerful when I switch up with a cross collar grip. So sometimes maybe I come in here like this, we get in here, or maybe I get into this position another way and we're kind of stuck, and I can dig the cross collar grip here like this. And from here I can kind of keep the shield in. I can actually go for a collar choke, or I can slide through, finish the pass. Another really cool way to use this is when you're passing against a single leg or half guard player. A lot of times they're trying to loop this heel on your hip and they're being annoying, and even when you get into pass, they can get that in last second like this, right? So sometimes what I do here is I actually pull the shield in. And it's very counterintuitive here, but now that shield is actually, again, it gets the lasso out of the way, and I can take my time, I can threaten the collar choke, I can start face cranking, and by the time he kicks through to lasso, it's now too far through and I can finish the pass. Also in this HQ position I did a video on before, it can be really nice here as I use this to stiff arm to kind of weaken his collar grip. I might even use my knee to frame his rib here. And what I'm gonna do is I use this as balance as a post, and I'm gonna pull this up to pull him into the shield here. So again, I get the shield in, and now I can start digging the underhook, I can start digging the collar grip. I've locked him in. Now I can take my time and slowly grind through. Again, when you're here, there's no rush. I lock them in the position and I dig my way through to find the pass.